So what is crazy is history. Everybody wants to talk about history, but yet they don't want to talk about history. If we look at what Daniel was trying to tell everybody in the beginning of the Gentiles and their kingdoms, we can trace history all the way back. And, a lot of people like to proclaim that, Egypt and Rome, they're relatively new in the scheme of the Gentile reign. They're relatively new. Even Egypt is a relatively new aunt of ancient history. So it was on the end of ancient history. But you had Babylon, Persia, Medo-Persia, then Greece and Rome. Okay, but it's as if saying that those Babylon, Persia, Medo-Persia, those empires lasted for maybe, collectively, maybe 50 years. Because all we ever get is romanticized Roman and Greek. We don't even get the Egyptians. Oh, those are hieroglyphs. We don't know what they're saying. You've got to be specified or specialized in hieroglyphics for you to know. But we know, but we're not going to tell you. As we whitewash everything to make it fit our narrative. And Daniel said, Babylon, Persia, Medo-Persia. There's one more in there. Let's see. It is, let's see, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, a divided kingdom. That's not. Hold on. That's them adding themselves into the mix, adding themselves into the divided kingdom. Whose? Rome. Stop with the craziness. You guys are so off the chart now in terms of how you, in terms of your, and they're all lies, but just in terms of how you even present it without any conversation, almost as if it is nonchalantly, we're divided kingdom, whatever. And then don't even discuss the outcome of that, the consequence of those nations, what the outcome would be. And they don't even talk about the feet in that one. It's just divided. This one won't come up. This is history. This is the Gentiles' history. But they don't want to talk about Babylon, Persia, Medo-Persia. They only want to talk about Greece and Rome. And because of that, Greece and Rome, they don't. I'm sorry. What the heck am I talking about? It is Babylon, Persia, Medo-Persia, Egypt, Greece, and Rome. And that's where they throw in the divided kingdom because they want to say that Egypt, Greece, and Rome. They want to put them together, which is fine. Put it together. That's not going to change the outcome of what that was. That was a prophecy. That wasn't a idol. That's what they made it, an idol. They said, it's an idol. Let's just worship it. Matter of fact, let's make it an Oscar. It's in our face. It's so crazy. And it's really interesting what Brother Judah is saying in terms of the colors and how that when you see these colors and how they actually make you create your mental state. See, for us, we've always been in the mental state of red. We've been in a mental state of red, and a lot of us still are. But there's some that has now moved up to yellow, to blue. We're wanting to keep moving, and everybody else wants to stay on red. And red, fine, if that's what you want to do it. But don't hinder my progression to, or our progression to, yellow and blue. If you wish to believe in your statue, your Gentile statue god, then do so. Because see that, and that's their history. That's they hide that history. Wouldn't it be better, like, instead of, Manly P. Hall talking about and the Greeks, instead of him saying that, it'd be like, oh, and the Babylonian philosophy was to this, or the Persian or the Medo-Persian. And quietly, to be quite frank, if this is what the 20th century was all about. Because before that, if you can recall, the European narrative was stronger, and that, although didn't give the total understanding, those other nations were close in close proximity to one another for others to gain understanding and knowledge. So there couldn't be a bamboozlement of England is the first nation, and it couldn't be that. But over here, because it was, in their opinion, a blank canvas, they could come over here and lie. Now, don't take this for not what it's worth. England, the European Gentiles, did this. This is why they probably mad at themselves today. But they did this. This wasn't anybody who was not acting upon the orders of Europe, of Rome, which was the revived Roman Empire that was said to be doing this thing. Daniel told, see, this is what I'm saying. They it's so funny because there's a lot of brothers always talking about the Kemet brothers, and I'm going, but keep going. There's other information about, oh, you Israelites, you guys were only in Egypt. No, man, we were in Daniel. No, man, you got to keep going. Oh, well, Daniel, Babylon was after Egypt. See, this is the mindset that people failed to gain reasonable understanding off of what they see. That's why that coloration is very important, because that's one of those psychological effects that they use to keep us in red. Because if you see that picture, then you can honestly say, if given the opportunity to be in yellow and to blue or green, you would say, oh, wait a minute, Babylon seems like it's first, the kingdom. What's going on with Babylon? Oh, what's up with Persia and Medes and Persia? See, we were never able to get that information over here because psychologically they understood something that the three parts did not use to the extent that it was used here, and that was what we know of as Willie Lynch, or a psyop that was done against the people of the Americas. And particularly beginning in North America, through the Caribbean, the North American continent, down through Central and South. But it was too thick. The terrain was too much. They couldn't go in there and do the damage that they could do here in the fertile land of Shem. And they did this by way of a mental dysfunction, because the truth was never in them. Therefore, they could never provide the truth to anyone, because they were basing their entire existence on a lie. And when you talk to them today, it's very difficult to hold logical, reasonable, rational, edifying conversations with them, which then, because of our skill in the red, we have to subject not our spirit, but subject our reasoning with them. and keep it moving. Back up whenever something does occur, because because at this stage in the game, the Father is cleaning a lot of us up, and he's not putting us around a lot of people who will create commotion, because he needs our minds open for what he's providing to us today. So, when we think about the way that they have created a system that has a pervasive frequency and vibration of lowness, and they used coloration and visuals to create stories upon stories, which in effect lies upon lies, to manipulate, gaslight people into believing by hook or crook, fear, death, their narrative. That is an amazing thing. Just because they don't want to acknowledge the history of Israel. Because if you acknowledge the history of Israel, then you have to deal with Daniel's whole story, understanding, and look at it from a prophetical standpoint, and then see it from a spiritual perspective, which is why they metaphysically had to break all of the understanding apart and feed it to one another, feed that milk to them individually. They couldn't have it all, and they still can't. One, because they dumb and they can't get together enough to do something right. Why? Because that's Babel. The Father shut that down early on, knowing that the Gentiles were going to do this. And see, this is history. We can't take that history away from all the things that's going on now. And that's what they try to do. But we can't. Because when we know this, and it's very difficult to unknow what you know today, it really starts becoming true. We have manifested we are manifesting the kingdom. We are the builders of this in the spirit. And no one, not the Gentiles or the heathens, nor the Japhites, the Edomites, or the Hamites, nor the Amalekites can stop it. This is what they've been fearing, but they've been kicked. This is the can. Israel has been the can that they've been kicking down the road. Now it's fallen upon their children's. Oh, I should just go to the fourth generation, right? The children's. I did. I thought, okay. Generations. And so, make sure it's still on. Yes. And so here we are. We're at the. Here we are. We're now at the Doors song. It's going to take them out. Now we're at the Doors song. And now they don't know what's going on. Now their mouths are shut. They can't see. They just bumping into each other, kicking each other, stomping each other, mad at each other. It's a sight to be seen. This is an amazing time, considering the knowledge that we have come into within the last 7 years. And I'm saying 7 because that's going into 2024. It is just an amazing thing. Everything is brighter. Everything is lighter. Everything seems to have more peace of mind as things are falling apart all around us in this Gentile matrix. That's why I'm starting to see that how we manifest these things, how we get to manifest things now in the positive for us, as their manifestations can only be in the negative because they don't have this spirit. This is just a beautiful thing. You know, I mean, spiritual light talking about our shadows. We're working on ourselves to help us manifest this. You know, Brother Levi showing us how to actually apply it. Once we get to that point, we'll be able to apply our superpower. You know, Brother Main keeping our minds straight, keeping us on that same plateau, that frequency, that vibration. Brother Judah, well, he's the kingpin. He's bringing the information forward. And for that, it's like all praises. It's a magical thing. It's a magical time. This is a beautiful time, Israel. You know, all those that cleave as well, the remnant and the grafted in. This is a beautiful time. So stay up, stay in the fight. Know what side you're on. Keep it real. All is good. All praises to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for giving us this information and loving us enough to show us. All praises. Shalom.